Hi everyone, welcome back to another yoga video. I thought today I would show you some of the moves that I do that kind of help me when maybe I don't feel my best, maybe I'm in a little bit of a funk. These are the moves I like to do to just help me feel better, help me feel more relaxed. But whenever you're ready, go ahead and grab your mat, maybe a yoga block, and let's get started. Our first pose today is going to be Balasana or Child's Pose. We can come into this pose from tabletop, bringing ourselves down to the floor, letting our hands be extended in front of us. Or we can also bring our hands out to our side and let our head rest on the mat. If you would like a little more support, you can take a yoga block and use it to rest your head on it instead of bringing it all the way down to the floor. Really just listening to our body here. And when you have found a good place with this pose, we're going to start to focus more on our breath. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's start to come out of this pose softly and slowly, and we'll start to transition into our diamond pose. So for this pose, we are just going to raise up, and we're going to come onto our toes and sit on our heels like this. If you find this pose uncomfortable, feel free to just bring your toes back down and sit on your feet. To Today I am using this pose so that we get a little rest before coming into our next one. And we will just continue our inhales and exhales, inhaling through the nose and out through the mouth. Maybe here you take your inhales and exhales deeper, slowing the heart rate and allowing ourselves to fall deeper into relaxation. If you're ready, let's start to slowly make our way into a seated position, and then we're going to come into deer pose. For deer pose, we are going to have our front and back leg at a 90-degree angle. This pose reminds me a lot of pigeon, except it's more loose. But I'm going to try to show you a different couple of angles here so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. Deer pose can feel a little intense, so feel free to take a yoga block and place it under your knee. And this will just create a little bit of a cushion and give us a little bit more support. On the other hand, if you want to feel more of a stretch, then in deer pose, go ahead and add in a little bit of a fold into this pose and bring yourself down to the ground like I am here. So this asana is really focusing on the hip and the back leg. We will be holding this for 1 minute, and then after that we will bring it onto the other side. We are going to bring it onto the other side now, but before that, let's come into some windshield wipers, just bringing our legs from one side to the other, keeping our hands behind us for support. This is just kind of a counter movement to the deer pose. When you're ready, let's go ahead and finally bring it onto the other side now. Again, we can use yoga blocks under our knees to give us a little more support. We can also add in the fold for more of a stretch. We just want to continue working with our breath through this pose. I also just want to remind you that it's not so much what the poses look like and trying to make them look that way. It's more important about how it feels. As we go through all of these poses today, let's continue to stay connected to our body and listen to our body. Let's start to slowly come out of deer pose, and we're going to do some more windshield wipers. For our next pose, we are going to bring ourselves slowly down to our back. And from there, we are going to be doing a supine twist. Keeping both legs together, go ahead and twist them over onto one side. Maybe you stretch out your arms. Our supine twist is actually stretching a few different things. We have our spine, our torso, our outer hip, and also our arms and shoulders. And what's cool about Yin Yoga is because we are holding poses for more time, it is allowing us to deepen the stretch. We are also using it to release and rebalance. If you are ready, let's go ahead and twist over onto the other side. Let's take one more breath here. Then we're going to start to work ourselves out of our twist. To counter our twist, our next pose is knees to chest. So maybe you bring in your knees for a big squeeze. Maybe you just kind of hug them close to the chest. We can also add in some movement, maybe doing some knee circles, taking them one way, but then also taking them to the other side as well. Because today is about easing ourselves out of a funk, I wanted today to be about giving ourselves and our body empathy and giving it love despite not feeling maybe our best. So as we allow ourselves to feel and to take the time and rest needed in this process, let's also remind ourselves that we are safe, we are protected, we are loved, and everything is going to be okay. Whenever you are ready, let's go ahead and bring everything down to the mat, coming into Savasana. In this pose, I invite you to close your eyes and release any tension that you may be feeling throughout the body. Let's see if we can deepen our inhales and exhales. Maybe we breathe in through the nose, hold, and then release on our exhale through the mouth. We just repeat this. This can help our body get out of that fight or flight and really come into rest. Allow this to be your time to release anything that you no longer wish to hold on to. Let's start to open our eyes. Maybe wiggle the toes, the fingers, as we start to bring our awareness back to the present moment. Maybe you take in a stretch here, inviting movement back in. Then, when you are ready, let's come up into a comfortable seated position. And we'll just take some breaths here before closing out today's flow. Now we are going to close out together, hands to the sky, hand to head. I choose kind thoughts. Hand to mouth. I choose kind words. And hand to heart. I choose to always be myself. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I am sending you all love and light.